You are never gonna believe this. William Afton in FNaF games is innocent. He's not the real bad guy. Cody and I were randomly thinking about how in the book lores, with these new short horror stories, children get this psychological pull towards things that are with, Freddy related.
This happens a lot. Like, it's a reoccurring theme in the books.
Mm-hmm. It happens to the woman who is pulled to the vent and dies. Oswell, he feels pulled to the animatronics.
And it's not just the books. If you think about it, it's actually the games too, because if you think about Elizabeth Afton wanting to go to Baby.
Also with the fun times, they were pretty much designed to lure children and people to them.
The crying child, I mean, like, he was,
he felt a pull to go towards...
Yeah, but he obviously felt a pull, but he was, I think he kind of, like, recognized it. He was like, something's wrong.
Tormented by it.
Yeah, he was like, something is wrong. This isn't, like, normal. So that's why he's, like, going between being happy and crying, like, at the same time. Possibly also why the bullies did what they did, though that's debatable in the theory.
Like, a good idea.
And more on that later, once we get to the point of this. And yes, as you were saying, possibly even William.
Because if you look at the book lore, there was the Golden Freddy suit, and there were, like, people were pulled to get in it or force people into it, things like that. Or to go back and search it. They felt pulled towards it.
Just as William was in the minigame when he actually does do it. Like, no one normal... Like, why would a normal person who's thinking right actually go and do that? That's just so weird. It's just such a weird thing.
He knew how dangerous the suits were.
He, like, made them.
The only person we actually, like, be able to identify that doesn't have a distinct pull to anything was none other than Henry Emily. So most of you guys are probably, like, screaming at us right now, being like, no, Henry's the best character, sweetest character, his child died and everything.
But is he really?
Is he really that great of a person?
I mean, he already is kind of a shady character. Yes, according to the book lore, there was a girl named Charlotte at a birthday party who was extremely allergic to chocolate.
So we believe that she ate some, being young, she wasn't good at, without an adult, she
was like 2 years old.
2 or 3, something like that. And so, she eats some, and then she, starts throwing up, and our theory is that she goes out, and she's, keeps throwing up, and it gets so bad that she eventually dies.
We don't actually know that William killed her. Like,
yeah, there's no proof. Even though people are, like, trying to point out little things that would cause that for William to kill her, we believe she died of natural causes.
At this point, William was completely innocent, and he hadn't done anything. So, we're thinking that Henry thought that William did it, but in reality he didn't. So we're thinking that Henry wants to frame William for doing that.
Each of the animatronics have a small disc that releases sounds that cause to the directed person hallucinations and delusions.
As seen in the book with the imposter. Baby acting like she's a human and no one can tell the difference.
So he did this as revenge on William, framed him of 5 or more murders, tormented his children, killing Elizabeth and Michael,
the crying child,
also giving him nightmares.
Yes, and the pull is from these discs that he developed.
Pieces of all of this very like, they fall into place so perfectly. I don't understand how you could deny this, honestly. I know this is an argument that Goaty brought up, is that once he's in the Springtrap, he tries to kill you or whatever, or when he's in Scrap Trap, he tries to kill you. The thing of it is that once, like, Remnant is inside of the animatronics, they tend to go kind of crazy. They often forget their identity and forget who is who with people. Just very unclear and kind of crazy.
So Henry, at one point in the games in FNaF World, he says something about how he was, like, guilty or, like, ashamed of making the fun times or whatever, something like that. And then he ends up dying in FNaF World, but we have a theory that he faked his own death because he comes back. Like, he comes back in FNaF 6, like, that's who you're talking to.
Where he set it up for all of the animatronics to be pulled again towards one place. And funny thing is one quote that also points to this that he said was to the guard that you're playing as, which we assume is Michael. I had originally planned an escape for you, but I think this is exactly where you want to be. And so you die in the pizzeria with the rest of the animatronics. That's because he was trying to torment Michael. William had rebuilt him back to life. Henry's like, okay, we'll kill him again.
That's where we were going with the, whether or not the bullies were feeling the pull to, like, bring Michael to Freddy. Mm-hmm. But if Henry wanted to kill him, then that could be an example, but it kind of depends if he did or not. I mean, it does kind of make sense. Like, why would they do that? I mean, they're, like, rowdy, I guess. He
just wanted to end the entire family right there.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah. Also, another direction I was wanting to take it. Everybody always questions whose psychic friend, Fredbear, is in FNaF 4 with Michael. His little friend that creepily follows him around. We actually believe that it is William talking through the bear to him, because, at this point he realizes that his son's kind of going crazy. He's always crying. He's terrified. Loves but hates the Freddy Pizzeria. And he's genuinely scared for him, noticing his night terrors and whatever. He gave him the psychic friend Fredbear to help keep an eye on him, talk to him through things, try to keep him calm.
We have evidence of this from Sister Location in the room where, if you, like, disobey baby, if you go into that room, there are the security cameras looking at the FNaF 4 room, and next to the cameras is actually psychic friend Fredbear. Like, the one time that he appears, along with a walkie-talkie. So here we have a connection to the FNaF 4 room, psychic friend Fredbear, along with a walkie-talkie that he could, talk through. And we have evidence of this from the Lonely Freddy story that we got in the book lore. There were, like, workers talking to each other about the walkie-talkies. All of that leads to the theory that "I will put you back together" is a line that William says, and William is saying that he is going to rebuild Michael after he dies, basically. He is just talking through psychic friend, and also we have evidence of that because of the book lore. It's possible to rebuild humans because Henry rebuilt Charlotte.
The games, not including VR and special delivery, were just video games, but they reflected off of true stories, which would be the book lore. And the book lore is what's supposed to be real life. And the actual video games we have are really just video games in the book lore world. Yeah, so this may kind of flip things on its head when it comes to Glitch Trap and who he actually is and what his intentions are. Or who or what he is, really, and who put him in there.
Yeah, we have a theory that the original game dev for the first FNaF games, like 5 or 1 through 6, basically all the ones that are classified as like video games in the world. We think that's Oswald from the Into the Pit story. So later in FNaF VR, Oswald is obviously not the game developer there because
they called him crazy. And
yeah, they called him crazy. And even though it was a picture of Scott later confirmed that he's not actually a canon character in the story. He just said that he used the picture because it was available. And kind of funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But yes, so we have a theory that Glitchtrap is in VR, glitching into the code because Oswald possibly planted him there as, I don't know, revenge or something.
Or to more prove his point of, like, what actually happened.
He made the games to kind of, like, show what actually happened in real life, kind of.
Retelling it in a way.
Yeah. And FNaF VR was, of course, made to cover everything up, as you hear in the beginning dialogue of the game.
And that would be reason for Oswald to plant Glitchtrap in there to try to destroy the cover-up that was being made. Non-intentional, it went very haywire, and ended up instead of just destroying the game, it started leaking into people just trying to switch with real people, just like Lonely Freddy's would.
So basically, a lot of people have been thinking that Glitchtrap is William, and I pretty much believe that theory up till today. So basically, he seems like William. He's a golden bunny with purple accents. He's really evil. He's like the main bad guy. I mean, it just looks like William. It just seems like William. So, I mean, a lot of people that assume that it's William, but what if it's not?
Scott Cawthon is going to do some kind of twist here, especially, the amount of new characters he's been bringing into the new game that has been leaked recently.
Maybe Henry or something. Henry faked his own death once, possibly.
Possibly 3 times. Like, twice? I know.
Yeah, twice.
We're not sure about this. I'm pretty sure he did the second time.
Yeah, so, like, what if he lies to us multiple times and then comes back in FNaF VR as Glitchtrap? We know that the game lore and book lore are separate. The book lore being in real life, the game lore being, video games in the whole universe. So basically, in the book lore, we're not really sure what happens to Elizabeth Afton, because in the book lore, it is Imposter, that is Circus Baby, and she's basically like the rebuilt version of Charlie. But we think that it's just really an AI. It's not like Elizabeth Afton that's in there. It's just kind of a AI.
Kind of like a Lonely Freddy.
Kind of like a Lonely Freddy. So, I'm thinking that in real life, Elizabeth Afton is
alive and well.
Yeah, is our new security guard for Security Breach. Basically, like, FNaF VR is talking about the game, so obviously FNaF VR is in real life or the book lore, along with FNaF AR. That is also in, like, the real life area of the lore. So, I'm assuming that since Vanny is in FNaF VR, and we know that Vanny is going to be in Security Breach, then Security Breach is going to be in the book lore section of the games. And yeah, so there you have Elizabeth Afton.
Yeah.
The hair color and eye color match. That's originally why I thought of that theory.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense, really.
It's like the parallel to the original games because Michael was like the main protagonist in the games, so it's kind of like the parallel universe where his sister is the protag.
In the book lore, the Afton family does exist. I quote, Afton Robotics. That's my father's coworker.
I think that's all that we thought of. Thanks for watching the theory, and see ya.
Bye! I hope I broke your minds.